Nikki in Kent says, where is it more dangerous, London or Dubai?
Shall I go for that first? Because I don't
Feel
think
free.
anywhere's very safe at the moment. I think this is the global challenge is very real, and we are facing very real challenges. So right now, people are being bombed in Dubai. It's very scary for people there. But, we've seen drones over Belgium. So, and I mean, when I have conversations with constituents on doorsteps in Hoxton in my constituency, talking about drones over Belgium, that's not something that would have been happening a few years ago. So people are very worried about the instability in the world. So this is why we need solid leadership from our Prime Minister to keep British interests safe.
I think the point of the question was slightly tongue-in-cheek, saying, well, look, people are flocking to Dubai from this country. Some say it's because of the safety issues in London.
That has passed me by then, because as a London MP, I'd say London's very safe. I don't feel, there are issues but I think that we're much safer than we used to be.
Isn't Finsbury the murder capital of London?
Well, no, I don't represent Finsbury for a start, but I think Finsbury's unlikely.
No, I was mistaking you for Emily Thornbury.
No, and to be honest, no, crime has gone down. Although obviously in a big metropolitan city you're going to have crime. Okay. It actually has reduced
James.
massively.
Well, I've spoken to constituents, friends who are currently in Dubai who are feeling incredibly concerned. So I'd say clearly Dubai is more dangerous. I think a lot of people have left the UK for Dubai largely because of the hikes in tax that the Chancellor has put on entrepreneurs and investors, and she's driven away possibly up to 10,000 people from the UK, according to some reports, people who were investing in our country and have taken that wealth elsewhere. And we've seen today in her announcements that she hasn't done anything to unwind any of those damaging tax rises that are causing so much harm to our country.
Nadhim.
Well, I've got two sons in the UAE at the moment, and I would say London after 9 p.m. would feel a lot more dangerous than Dubai. I think, to James's point...
sorry, I just have to say, stand up as a Londoner. I certainly walk around my constituency at night and have no worries.
You try and walk down any street in London and have any form of jewellery on. Most people will, certainly that... I've spoken to are pretty worried about muggings in London. And,
I think perhaps you look at the figures don't bear out the fear.
Didn't you have an interaction with Nick Ferrari recently?
I did. I did, absolutely, yeah.
Do you feel safe in London?
No. I've got to tell you.
And for your children?
Yesterday, I walked from my home in one of the most
well-heeled,
upmarket, you can call it, areas of London, and an individual walked past me. I literally walked off the pavement into the middle of the road, kept a very close eye at 8 a.m., right?
What was this individual? Did he appear to be drunk? Did he appear to be aggressive?
He just looked like he hadn't slept for a week, and just looked like somebody that might be violent. I don't know, but I just walked away from the pavement to walk, and I'm a big guy. Right?
Yes, you are.
And I don't feel safe that my 13-year-old can walk in London. That can't be right.
You came across a man who was sleeping.
No, he wasn't sleeping. I didn't want to go into the detail at the time, and I still will refrain from going into the detail, but he was pretty agitated state, and I was discussing the feeling of people feeling less safe around our great city.
Do you not think that is the case in many capital cities?
Listen, I don't know, but all I can say to you is most of my friends, a lot of your listeners will be thinking after 9 p.m, it's a pretty dangerous place because of the level of muggings. And you see that in the middle of broad daylight in Knightsbridge, the Rolex shop gets basically raided with machete-wielding robbers who just were happy to go at people who are just trying to take evidence of this thing.
Well, Paul's from
Rolex
Liverpool,
shops
he knows
are
all
not a
about
common
this.
thing.
I'm not surprised.
Ian, you don't want to go there,
I'm not surprised. All I would say is it's not just the millionaires and billionaires that James spoke about.
If you
look at the figures today,
I know.
If you look at the figures today from the Spring Statement, we're losing actually 60,000 of the most talented Brits. to places like Dubai because of
it's
tax
the same old scaremongering.
Yeah,
Actually, look at the
exactly.
facts. In 2024, 0.3% of the UK's millionaires left the country. They probably left for all sorts of reasons. And it's a strange sort of patriotism.
Do you celebrate that?
No, it's a strange
Do you
sort of
celebrate
patriotism, James, when if you leave a country that helped you create that wealth because you don't want to pay a fair share of tax towards schools
Perhaps
and
it's
hospitals
unfair.
and safe streets, by the way, because our taxes pay for the police. Listen, I've been living and working in London, in Britain's second city, London, for the best part of 2 decades now. I have never once been threatened or assaulted. I walk around the streets of London, all parts of London, on a regular basis. I've never once been threatened or assaulted. Granted, I'm not wearing as much bling as you, Nadhim, but I still feel relatively safe. And so I think we do our country a disservice when we're constantly talking up the threat of crime, which actually, of course, there are victims of crime. But let's not kid ourselves that we're going to go out on the street and cower on our way back home tonight.
Absolutely. And then
unconscious-
Nadhim wraps himself in the Union Jack and with reform, and then he talks our country down. And
I
that's
don't talk
really,
the country down. Quite
well,
the
you've just been
opposite.
talking
I'm
now.
quite the opposite. I've
It's
actually,
just this show
Well, I'm going
finishes
to
at
talk
9
you all
o'clock,
down now
so
because we
maybe
have to go
Paul can
to
walk
the
with you
news.
home.
It's 8:33 on LBC.